What's going on, guys? My name is Aldeniro and welcome to episode 52 of my Leicester City career mode on FIFA 15. We're starting this episode off with a look at the squad report because it has kind of been a while since I showed one, I think. Has it? I don't know. I probably showed one in the last episode for all I know. But I don't really have anything to report about it. Like the injuries to this club that we've had so far have been really devastating to the overall squad and the players' ratings, and I only noticed it today, but Dwight Gale is actually 26 in this game now and he's still rated 72, and I find that so ridiculous. I think his potential is in the high 70s as well. It's like 78 or something. I thought I could push him to 80, and given the form he was in last season as well, it just feels like the growth of these players is completely slowed down in comparison to what it should be or what it was last year, and that kind of worries me because EA said specifically that wouldn't be the case this year as long as you played the players, and I've done my best to do that. So I don't really know what it is, but that's just the situation. Another thing I wanted to mention really quick was if this video isn't in like the proper rendering settings or the highest quality, it's actually YouTube's fault at the moment. They've just introduced 60 FPS on video uploads, and the result of that is that the whole system is kind of a little bit bastardized for everybody. It used to take me like 35 minutes to upload one of these videos, so I could make them by 2 o'clock in the day, render them, have them uploaded by 4, and it would be no problem. And now I have to render them and upload them the night before because it literally takes 5 hours to upload now, and it's nothing to do with my speeds. And then sometimes they don't even process correctly, so if the video quality isn't that good, I really don't know what I can do about it. But we go into our first game of the episode anyways, which is important, and this is against Everton, who obviously were the first team that I managed in my FIFA 14 career mode. So a lot of love for Everton, albeit they're very, very strange tactical choices that they're doing in this game, with Luke Garbutt playing as a left winger in this weird system, but they've also gone with like Lukaku and players like that on the bench. I don't know why they continuously underestimate me when I'm in such a prominent league position, as you guys did see from the league table just before this game. But Scott Sinclair's shot in the 9th minute went just wide of the post, and then 6 minutes later we got another chance with Dwight Gale running at the Everton defence, and he's actually upset that I'm not playing him enough, so that's why he's starting this game, even though he is pretty much the best player of the series so far, in all honesty. But he played it into Juan Pablo Diaz, whose shot went wide, and then we come up to the half-hour mark with Dwight Gale bombing forward once again, taking everybody on and retaining possession of the ball. This is a 72 rated player. He's so good. I really don't know why he hasn't grown. It's really, really annoying. But we come up to the 49th minute of the game with Berahino on the ball. He does pretty well to get around Gibson, and his shot from distance was so close to dipping into the far post there, but sadly it wasn't to be, and I say that all the time, and it's actually really annoying me. No one's even mentioned it, it's just me that keeps mentioning it. But Sinclair's shot in the 77th minute went wide as well, very similar to the Berahino one. And then we came forward into the final 10 minutes of the game with Gary Gardner on the ball. He plays it into Kingsley Coman, who came on as a second half substitute. He hasn't really impressed me much at all this season, but he is very fast. He plays the ball out to Dedrick Boyata, whose shot, I think it hit off both sides of the frame of the goal. I think it hit the crossbar and onto the post. And then we come into stoppage time at the end of the second half with Scott Sinclair bombing forward. He has a look up and crossed it into Schlupp, but sadly Schlupp's header went wide, and the game ends in a disappointing stalemate against Everton. I really think we could have taken them in that game as well. I was very disappointed with our finishing and their performance overall. Like, one shot in the entire game was all they had. We had 10, only 3 of which were on target, and we come out with that game to find out that Gary Gardner has suffered a sprained ankle. He will now miss 3 weeks of action, and that's just another player that we have on the injury list, and it's getting a little bit ridiculous. We go into our next game, however, which is against West Ham United, and obviously you guys know that I struggle against West Ham, so I kind of went with a more attacking formation here. I went with Ince and Grealish both playing, and then Lewis Muriel and Dwight Gale up front. The West Ham team is very good once again. They've got Lustig in defence actually, and they've got Zarate and Carroll up front, which I think is a really good combination, with Ravel Morrison playing in behind them as well. But the first chance came to West Ham in the 14th minute, although their free kick was incredibly bad, and it just led to a counter-attack from us, which Lewis Muriel takes, and he runs at James Tompkins and does really well to get around him. He just has the pace. Then he Ronaldo elbow chops around Lustig to get into a shooting position, and thankfully the striker manages to finish and gets his second goal in a Leicester jersey overall, and he makes it 1-0 to us after 16 minutes. I was really hoping we could hold on to this lead as well, because West Ham are so difficult to play just because of how well rounded and balanced their whole team is. But Dwight Gale's shot went just wide in the 23rd minute, and then 3 minutes later we came forward with Dwight Gale on the ball once more. He does really well to get round players. I don't know how he does it so well, but his shot is saved by the goalkeeper in really dramatic fashion, and the rebound is knocked into the back of the empty net by Lewis Muriel, and that makes it 2-0 to us, and his second goal of the game, which was awesome. Then we come up to just 12 minutes after that with Muriel coming down on goal once more. Lustig pulls him back inside the box, and the referee thought that the contact was sufficient enough to warrant a penalty, which I thought was great at the time, because it was a chance for Lewis Muriel to get his hat-trick, and no booking for Lustig, which I find strange. And it also looked like the referee actually played an advantage as well for that chance. But Lewis Muriel steps up from the spot to become our third player of the series to have scored a hat-trick, and he doesn't manage to do it, which was really disappointing. In fact, how many of you guys know who the other two players that got a hat-trick were? That'd be kind of interesting to read if any of you guys know. We come up to inside stoppage time at the end of the first half, and this was really, really strange. As the ball gets into Dwight Gale, he does really well with the first chance, but it's saved by the keeper, and then the rebound struck the crossbar and went bounced off the line and over it. They did show the goal line technology thing to show that the whole ball didn't cross the line, but it was just a really strange kind of a chance. You don't see those often. Rohan Ince almost made it 3-0 in the 49th minute, and then West Ham came forward in the 70th with Ravel Morrison on the wing. He played it into Shishkin, who goes for Maiga inside the box, who plays it out to Ziyech, or however you pronounce his name, and he belts it into the back of the net with his left foot from distance to set up for a very nervy final 19 minutes of the game. And this is one of those times. I've always said it about teams like West Ham, Stoke, Hull City. There's loads of them. The teams that go a goal down and then their mentality suddenly changes. It doesn't necessarily have to be one goal, but West Ham went full on attack mode here, and they got their equaliser in the 79th minute through Andy Carroll, as he just bundles it into the net after Kasper Schmeichel committed to the previous chance, and that really angered me. So we came forward immediately on ultra attacking at this point, and Anthony Knockaert plays it into Ki Sung-yong, who almost put us into the lead with a spectacular backheel goal, but sadly it wasn't to be. And then we come up to the 89th minute with Ki Sung-yong playing it into Berahino, who's sprinting to get in ahead of Tompkins. Eventually he does, but his shot is just ridiculous, and Lewis Muriel from the bench has a little bit of a moan about it, because he thinks that he could have done better, and to be honest, I totally agree with him. We end that game with a 2-2 draw, which is incredibly disappointing considering we were in a position where we were 2-0 up. But look at these stats once again. Like, they had 2 shots in the whole game, and they came in the final 20 minutes. And then we find that Boyata is going to miss 11 days through injury. So the injuries at this club are ludicrous. We're missing Zaha, we're missing Koyate, and our next game is against Hull City, of all teams, who are sitting in a lowly 18th position. But we all know that Hull City are the team that I just never beat. I've never beaten them in this series, I'm pretty sure. I think a draw is the best result I've ever had off them. But I went with a 4-2-4 in this game, because I read someone in the comment section saying that that's how you beat Hull, that he uses a 4-2-4, and that's what I decided to do. I decided to take the game to them. They're not actually playing a 3 at the back. They're playing a 4-1-2-1-2. They've got Gary Mackay-Steven and Jamie Vardy, obviously the 2 former Leicester lads in the team. But the first chance of the game would come to them inside just 3 minutes, as the ball comes into Nikica Jelavic, whose shot goes just over the bar, but it just showed what they were capable of in terms of their passing movement. Then we come up to the 6th minute with Scott Sinclair picking the ball up on the left hand side. His shot from distance goes well wide, but I wanted to show that we were going all out attack from the get-go. Well, not, the mentality of it, but I just really wanted to get at Hull. I wanted to beat them. I hate having them always just lingering over me as the team that I can't beat. And Sinclair went very close in the 11th minute, but he didn't manage to score. And then in the 14th minute, Hull just reverted to being typical Hull with this incredible pinpoint passing on the edge of the box, looking for gaps everywhere, eventually finding them. It eventually comes to Huddlestone, whose shot hits off John Stones and goes into the back of the net, and the audacity of him to... Look how big he is. He looks like a fucking mascot. It's just... it really annoys me. They've got his figure so wrong. I know he is a giant in real life and all of that, but he doesn't look like that. That just looks so ridiculous. It's like the fucking honey monster or something. But In the 23rd minute, we came forward with Lewis Muriel trying to play that ball through. He didn't do it very well, but eventually he played it through to Leite, who found Sinclair. And I think that was a really good counter-attack, and it was rounded off by Scott Sinclair, who is their big game player, really. He always scores in the big games, and even though Hull are in 18th, this is a big game because my pride is at stake. And the equaliser came in the 24th minute, so decided from there to just keep on attacking until I got the win. I was prepared to just go and try and score more goals than them, which obviously is the goal in football, but I mean, like, not really caring too much about my defence or my midfield. I just wanted to score a lot of goals, and I didn't really care how many we conceded. We came very close on the half-hour mark when Scott Sinclair's shot was tipped over, and then we come into the second half with Juan Pablo Diaz playing the ball to Mike Leite, who goes really close with this chance, but it was more of a goalkeeper mishap more than anything. But Rohan Ince dispossesses one of the Hull midfielders in the 72nd minute, and the ball comes into Scott Sinclair, and his determination takes him through, and his chip is excellent, and he gets in as the crowd all rise to their feet because they know this is a big moment for the club if we can beat Hull. Like, this is when we mean business. But it was a really nice finish. He did so well to header it in ahead of the defender, and the chip hitting off the post and eventually going, actually it didn't hit the post, but I was so happy to get that. And then in the 82nd minute, as Hull were committing more and more men forward, Berahino came on off the bench, and we hit them on the counter-attack for one more goal, and we end up finally conquering the team who just were a thorn in my side for the entirety of this series. They've beaten us so often, and they play so well, and they frustrate me so much, but the 4-2-4 formation is the one that ended up winning. So I'm so happy that I've gotten that victory. You guys don't even understand it. Like, it's a bigger deal to me than like winning the Champions League would be. But that is the end of this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do leave a like. That would be much appreciated. I've been El Dinero. Thanks for watching.